Hi class, this is Mrs. Krizanovich, the instructor for your course. You can also refer to me as Mrs. K if that's easier. So what I wanted to do for you, since this course is a hybrid course, we will be meeting in class on Tuesdays. However, you'll be responsible for doing a lot of the lecture-based material on your own. Which will be provided for you on Canvas. So what I'd like to do for you today is review the syllabus as well as review using Canvas and kind of how I have Canvas organized for you. So this is Community First Aid and Safety, PHED 108. As I said, it is meeting in class on Tuesdays at 8 a.m. to 9:15, and online, really it's kind of up to you when you want to dedicate the time for the course. It is 1 academic credit. I am the instructor for this course. I am an adjunct instructor, so I am rarely on campus at MCLA as I work full-time at Williams College. So if you need to get a hold of me, the best way to do so would be by emailing me. You could also send a message via Canvas, but I would say that I probably check my email more frequently than I log on to Canvas. So if you're looking for a quick response, your best bet would be by sending me an email. There is a course text that we're going to be using. However, the text is digital and provided for you on Canvas. So it is up to you. You can download the manual. You can print it off if you really want to, which is a lot of pages, or you can just access it while you're on Canvas. Other materials we'll be using in this course are a pocket mask, which you will be given during an in-class session when we be practicing CPR. And there are going to be a variety of handouts in this class as well, which you can access right on Canvas as well. I do use the Office 365 email as the primary mode of communication, as well as if I'm trying to let you all know something, you will get a message or announcement on Canvas. So as I said, Canvas really is going to be the main hub for all of the learning in this class in terms of the coursework. When we meet on Tuesdays, primarily we will be doing all of the skills. So you might read about CPR on a Thursday, and on Tuesday we'll actually practice and learn the skill of providing CPR. Also on Canvas you'll find audio lectures, PowerPoint lectures, your grades, quizzes, exams, and other handouts. The objective for this course, primarily this course is set up so that I am instructing you on the American Red Cross's version of CPR for an adult, child, and infant, as well as first aid. So I utilize the American Red Cross course materials and lecture based off of those materials. You'll find here some course objectives you can read through on your own. The big expectations for this class are to show up on time. I am not fond of people showing up late. I know this is an 8 a.m. However, I've been known to lock students out of class, ask students to leave. We are only meeting once a week, so it's really important that you get there and you are there on time. I ask that you actively participate in class, as well as making sure that you're completing your online Canvas assignments. Be prepared when showing up, especially to the in-class sessions. You will be reading a lot of the material that we are going to be covering the week before, so that basically you have the knowledge. You're just going to be learning the hands-on skills. I don't tolerate the use of cell phones or other electronic devices unless I tell you otherwise in class. And make sure, like I said, review the materials in Canvas prior to class. You can see here a text and cell phone policy. For every time that you use your phone, you will receive a 5-point deduction from your final grade. That means every time I see you use it. So if you're in class and you're just kind of on using your cell phone frequently, you could lose, 15, 20 points from your final grade in that class. So I really encourage you not to use your electronic device. Attendance policy. I have a pretty strict attendance policy, and this is mainly because we're only meeting once a week, and each class I'm going to be covering a different section of course hands-on material. Also, the American Red Cross mandates X amount of hours to receive certification, so you need to make sure you are there. If you miss the day that we do CPR, you can't, tell a person that you're caring for that, well, I missed that class and I don't really know what I'm doing. It's really important that you know the hands-on skills. So you'll be allowed one unexcused absence prior to your grade being affected. And your grade will go down every time you miss more than one class. And it will be dropped. For example, an A would go to an A minus, a B would go to a B minus. This attendance policy just talks about how this class only meets for 8 weeks, and we are only meeting once a week. Also, you will be awarded attendance points just for showing up to class. If you're late, you will lose your attendance points. If you're disruptive, you will lose your attendance points. Attendance points are a really easy way to boost your grade. So if you're not showing up to class, you're not actively participating, then it's just going to hurt your grade. You need to notify me of anything that would be considered an excused absence. Things that I consider excused are major family events, deaths in the family, and family emergencies that you have to go home for, illnesses requiring hospitalization, and anything else that would be considered an emergency. You need to notify me prior to not showing to class. So I don't want to hear 3 days later, well, I didn't come to your class on Tuesday because I was sick. Well, I think you can probably email me the night before or the morning before if you know you aren't going to be there. I tend to be fairly forgiving if you make the effort to notify me ahead of time. Also, proper documentation is required for excused absences. So make sure that you have some type of note, or if it's an event that you can't really get a note for, like I said, letting me know beforehand. Also, if you know 3 weeks in advance that you're going to have to miss a class due to, say, jury duty or something like that, make sure you're letting me know, and we can kind of set up a time where you can learn the material that you're going to be missing from that class. All of the exams and quizzes are online, so you don't really kind of have an excuse for missing one. Forgetting to do it is not a valid excuse, so make sure that you get those done. It's also your own responsibility to make sure that you're obtaining anything that you missed from not being in class. I already mentioned participation points. Make sure that you're not cheating. All of the exams and quizzes are going to be online, so I can't really monitor you for cheating, but make sure, I have had it before where people have given me identical responses to things, so, you know, it doesn't sound like your own unique work if it is identical as someone else's, so make sure that you are not cheating or copying other people's work. You'll see below kind of what your grades are going to be based off of. You'll have attendance points for showing up to Tuesday classes. We will have a couple lab assignments, which will be kind of hands-on skills. We're going to practice those hands-on skills. There is 7 online 15-point quizzes. There's 1 5-point quiz, which is an introductory quiz. And then there's going to be a final cumulative exam. All of the quizzes and final exam will all be online. So there will be a weekly quiz. These quizzes are meant to make sure that you are reviewing the material for that class, for basically the next class. Quizzes are also meant to test you for the American Red Cross. So I will be building in American Red Cross exam questions into your quizzes and making sure that you're doing well on those. I'll explain that process in a minute. Quizzes will open at 8 a.m. on the day they are scheduled for and will remain open until the Monday before we meet for class. So for example, a quiz will open at Thursday morning at 8 a.m. and will close Monday night at 11:59 p.m. This allows for you to have a lot of time to take your quiz. So I really don't forgive I forgot to take my quiz, I didn't have enough time to take my quiz. That is more than enough time to prepare for the quiz. Once you open the quiz is open and you may not return to it again. So don't take it until you're ready. Also, you'll have 20 minutes to complete the quiz. They are timed. So once you open it, you have 20 minutes to complete it. As I said, there's no excuses for forgetting to take it. And be sure that you have selected an electronic device that is compatible. So there's going to be a practice quiz, just a 5-point practice quiz that you will all need to take. And I encourage you to take it on the device that you plan to take your exams on and your other quizzes on to make sure that it's compatible, especially if you've never taken a quiz on Canvas before. The American Red Cross mandates that you take their exam and that you pass their exam with an 80% or better to become certified by the American Red Cross in first aid, CPR, and the use of an AED. How I will be testing that this year is these questions will be embedded into your quizzes, and I will be keeping track what questions you answer correctly and incorrectly as the semester goes on. So you will not be receiving an American Red Cross exam, let's say at the end of the semester. This will be embedded into the class over the next 8 weeks. If you fail to receive an 80% or better on those questions, you will, per the American Red Cross, be given the opportunity to retake the questions in the exam. However, for the course, the first grade that you got is what will stand. Also, you must pass the class to obtain certification. So at the end of the semester, if you failed to show up to things and you end up with an F in the course, well, you're not going to receive the certification. You need to pass the class. You need to show up to class. You need to do well on the things to receive the certification. There will be a final cumulative exam. It will open the last week of class on Tuesday, 3/7 at 8 a.m. and will close on Thursday, 3/9. This test will be cumulative. We'll test you on everything you've learned over the semester, and it will be worth 50 points. Over the course of the Tuesday hand-on sessions, I will be checking for understanding, so making sure that you understand how to perform all of the skills. Like I said, it's one thing to know the material in terms of being able to answer it correctly on a test or tell me it, but you need to make sure that you know how to perform the skills. This is really important in terms of the certification. Next, you'll find the course outline. So you can see kind of the setup here. So this Thursday, the first day of class, you'll be responsible for listening to this audio lecture, which you are right now, as well as the first chapter, which is preparing for emergencies. You will then see that there is a practice quiz which is open, which you need to take first, and then quiz 1 will also be open as well. So this first week, technically you have 2 quizzes, while the first quiz is just not really testing you on any material. It's just making sure that you know how to use the device that you're going to be using for the quizzes, and you don't have any mess ups that way. Then you can see going down from there in class, we'll be starting the hands-on skills, and you can kind of see how this follows all the way through. On the 31st, I will be out of town, so there will not be any class. So you'll be preparing this this material basically the next week. So you kind of get a total bye week here. Like I said, you can kind of see it follow down. Every time we meet in the classroom, you can see that it is listed and what we're going to be covering, what chapters we are going to be covering. And then the last week, we will be having kind of a whole class check for understanding, making sure that all the skills are set, and your final exam will be online. Something that I do mention typically at the beginning of class is that if you already hold the certification of American Red Cross First Aid and CPR certification, you can test out of this course if you haven't been told that before. And if you are one of those people, you can send me an email or a message on Canvas and I can explain to you how to do that. And if you have any other questions about the syllabus, please feel free to send me a message. I will, on the first day of class when we actually meet, talk about if anyone has any questions about anything. So next we're going to go over to Canvas, and I'm just going to kind of show you how Canvas is going to work. So this is instructor's screen a little bit here. So this is my home screen. But what I tell people to access things for my course is you need to go to modules. Don't ever use files. Courses get copied over and some old files linger in there. So you want to make sure that you're always accessing the files that you need for this course via modules. Also, you can find the syllabus under the syllabus tab. And also you can already see the due dates for everything here. So like I said, going into modules, this is where you're going to find everything for this course. So right here, you can see this is actually the course manual. If you click on this manual, you can download it or you can open it. It is a PDF document. Here are a few other handouts. These are great reference guides. There's a lot of pictures as to how to perform the skills. So there's one reference for pediatrics and one reference for the adults. And then next you'll find kind of it just set up chapter by chapter. So course introduction here, you'll see the practice quiz. This audio lecture will also be on here once I am done recording it. So you will need to complete this introductory lecture as well as the practice quiz prior to being able to open and access chapter 1. So you can see there'll be a prerequisite for each chapter. You need to make sure that you're going through everything through order. As you scroll down, you'll see chapter 1, there is a PowerPoint presentation available. So if you want to print off those slides and look at those slides as you go along. And then there's also an audio lecture. You need to make sure that you're doing basically 4 things per chapter. You need to read the chapter in the book. You need to read the PowerPoint, which you can follow along with the audio lecture. But I highly encourage you listening to the audio lecture. And then you need to complete the quiz for that chapter. Like I said, you are really doing the book knowledge learning via Canvas. In class, I will review a few things, but I am expecting you to know this information when you walk into class. That way we can spend that hour and 15 minutes learning and perfecting the actual hands-on skills. So as you scroll down, you can see there is one of these modules for each chapter. So like I said, repeating myself again, make sure that you're accessing the material using modules. Do not use files. You then can access other things, so you can go to grades to try to see your grades. You can access quizzes directly from the quizzes tab if you would like to, but you don't need to. Assignments, same thing. You don't really need to go to the assignments. Everything that you need for the class is under modules. And that's basically it when it comes to the tabs that I use for this course. So that's kind of the wrap up here, introductory to the course. I really look forward to meeting you all in person on Tuesday. And if you have any questions before then, make sure that you're getting a hold of me and contacting me so that I can answer those questions for you. Have a great day.